Hi, my name is Jack. Simply put, I've had an issue with getting too quickly attached to people. It seems that with every relationship I start, I will constantly visualize these fantasies with them of my mind's ideal version of how I want things to play out. And because of this thought process, it draws me further away from them. Delusion sets in, which causes the anxiety and overthinking that I struggle with, and it ends up with the relationship ending. But something I haven't heard too many people say is how hard it can be for them to be out of your life, even if you weren't necessarily dating. They brought happiness into your life for the first time in a while, and not experiencing that anymore is sometimes unbearable and sends you down a dark path. It was hard for me to accept someone bringing themselves into my life so swiftly and jubilantly, just to slowly back away and leave. It's the worst type of pain, especially when you get attached quickly. Maybe like me, relationships have ended poorly for you, and after things have settled, you want the closure that will stop the depression and suffering that you're going through because of the guilt you feel. I've slowly realized, though, that this is the wrong way to think. The idea of letting go is foreign to me. I have a big heart and want everyone that I interact with to be a good interaction. When guilt arises in the past from acknowledging how sporadic I was acting in a relationship that had ended with answers still looming, I wanted the closure of why things happened the way they did, why things ended the way they did. But this is the premise behind letting go itself. Letting go of someone has been one of the hardest things for me to conceptualize. They became the light at the end of the tunnel in a tough time in my life, bringing joy and happiness. But I'll never find true happiness if I was already in a bad place before they entered my life. I need to be happy within myself before I'm happy with someone else. Some people are only meant to be in our lives for so long. Sometimes people come into our lives to teach us things, and they also teach us how not to do things, how not to settle, how not to shrink ourselves ever again. Yes, sometimes people do leave, but that's okay, because their lessons always stay, and that is what matters. That is what remains within our bodies and our minds. They did what they did, things happened the way they did for a reason. I don't hate them, but life continues to move on, with or without them, and I have to continue to move along to achieve the goals I aspire for. Losing people is a part of life. Sometimes you may really care about them, but I realize now that not everything in life is meant to be a beautiful ending. If someone wants to be in my life, they will be. If they don't make the effort, I now know that they don't care enough, and that's all the closure I need. I've lost a lot of people in my life, but they are the stepping stones that helps build my character and helps me become the person I want to be. A quote I read this week that really resonated with me went something like this: "Things can't go back to how they were, because there's no back and there never will be. Life only moves forward. Stop trying to go back or you will always be disappointed. Fold the page shut, you can revisit it, but it's already a memory." The right person will come into my life when the time is right, and I know I'm on the right path and have made huge strides recently to come to peace. And closure will not help with peace. Have peace in not knowing, even if that means never speaking to them again, which I now know is the only way to advance. I'm finally learning to move on. See you next week. Peace.